Alright, hi everyone. Welcome to our, today is going to be a Cascader and visual effects workshop. I am actually really excited to go through this one because this is starting to reach the sections of this project that I honestly am not too familiar with. I would like to be more so familiar with, but it is the things that are my personal goals of getting better with and good at to be able to work in specifically 3D games. I've always really enjoyed doing visual effects and shader art and whatnot. A perfect example is actually this water shader that I have in our main scene already. Wow, everything's underwater. Let me bring this down just a little bit. I did this for an old project where it has like all the. Actually, I'm gonna bring it up because the caustics are actually really cool to see, where it like blurs the models underneath and whatnot, and we love good shaders, and especially working in a low poly game, we will need to sort of rely on shaders a lot more going forward just to give it a good style, and that's kind of what I'm doing right now with these characters. I'm gonna close that. This is my example here is kind of these materials, and this is why I have the these are these are textured models of Violet, but they don't have any shaders on them, and then both of these have this custom tune shader where we can actually adjust the shadows, and I'm testing out how that looks on different models. This one is smooth, this one's not, so that's why it looks a little weird, but this is why shaders are important, because we can actually really give a lot more life to our low poly models than we could if they just look like this. Also, like outlines, we can actually add outlines and give a bit more of a stylistic look to our models, stuff like that, and as well as our VFX. So all fun stuff to come. We will get to that a bit later, but first I'm actually going to talk about animations. Animations in 3D is always hard. It is always going to be hard no matter what you do with it, but I have personally found a workflow that I enjoy, and I think that's the most important part of anything that we're doing, is finding a way to make the boring parts enjoyable to you. Today I'm going to kind of go through my workflow of specifically getting a humanoid character rigged and ready to be animated, and then animated and brought into the game. We will see how far we get before I crash and burn, because this stuff is kind of complicated and a little annoying with computers and stuff. But the main thing that I have already set up is a cascadeur file inside of Unity, which should look like this. I'm actually going to close it, and we're going to save it. Proof of concept that it is actually in the Unity project. This closes. If you go to, should be in animations. I made an animations folder, and you can see Violet Animation Project. And you should be able to double click that and open that up in Cascadeur. Cascadeur is a Swedish? I don't know. It's some sort of some country's software program where they use some like different machine learning algorithms to be able to animate in 3D. I'm just gonna let's just go ahead and watch this demo real quick.
Cascadeur is an AI-assisted keyframe.
Bring that down. You can actually kind of see a bit of what it's doing. It has this auto posing, which is really nice to not, especially anyone that is like really like scared of 3D animation because of how hard it is to actually make it look fluid. This is not going to carry you the entire way, but you definitely get a lot of assistance and help from it. So that is why I am really trying to make that an option for all of us to use. We definitely don't have to. If you're very used to 3D animation in Blender and like it that way, go ahead. I am scared of 3D animation in Blender, so hence why I am using Cascadeur. So first off, I'm just going to kind of show generally how this works, and then I will go through and talk about the rigging process for Violet here. I actually just went through it today, so we should be it should be pretty fresh in my mind. So let me max this out. So good old Cascadeur. So when you open up Cascadeur, by the way, it is free to download. You can totally open up this file on your own. The only difference is between the free and the paid is that the paid version actually can't, the free version actually can't export to an FBX to be able to be used in Unity. I have already paid for the license. It's a one-time fee. So whether or not you have it, that is perfectly fine. I believe I can either share that with everybody, or if we're just editing this file and we share it between each other, you can finish your animations and then share that to me, and then I can do the exporting and importing into Unity. But don't be scared to just go ahead and download it and try things out if you're interested in this, because it is free and you can have full access to everything that Cascadeur has to offer except for the exporting. Okay, so when you get into Cascadeur, the three main things of kind of moving around are you're going to want to hold Alt and left click to be able to rotate around the model. If you hold Alt and then right click, you'll be able to right click is to zoom in and out, and then middle click is to pan. I'm pointing those out because every single time that I get into this, after a while, I completely forget what those controls are. And it's holding Alt to do that. And then, so when you open up this project, you'll be able to, ideally it'll already have you on this view, but you might only see this and be a bit confused as to like where to go from here. At the very top left, we have our different view modes. I actually opened up this arrow here, and you can see all the different view modes. We have our auto posing mode, which is what this is. Then we have the point controller mode, and then we have the this is like the box controller mode. Then the joint mode, where you can actually just see all the individual joints. And then that's the mesh, and then this is the rigging mode, which is a little scary. The only one you'll really need to worry about is the posing mode, at least from my understanding. If any of you really get into this, you might understand a bit more about the rest, but again, I have a very introductory understanding of Cascadeur. Very much the basic things that you need to know to get a model animated and moved into Unity is how what I know about this. Okay, so the whole point of this software is the fact that we can go ahead and take a joint and the entire model will move to follow that joint. And it is based around these blue points here. So I think, how do I deselect these? I remember there's a way to do it. Whatever. Actually, you know what? This is exactly how I remind myself of things, so I'm gonna just point it out. Cascadeur, deselect, auto, pose, select a controller. Just a note, I did in resources, in the Discord, I did share this Darklight Interactive resources. I will continuously update this. This is my own personal collection of all of my resources. Like React is in here, you know. I am going to continuously update Cascadeur. I realize that I don't. This should be more because I have needed it more than ever. But whatever. All the things with Blender are here. All of my things with Unity are here. I have a stupid amount of things with Unity, like all my repos that I use, and all this fun stuff. So if you want to go digging, go digging. But just pointing this out because the Cascadeur stuff is here, and that's where this hotkeys page is. Let's see if I can find it. I'm probably not going to. Yeah, well, whatever. I wanted to point out that if I can deselect these and make them not blue, they would move along with this movement, but because they are blue, they are staying in that position. You can kind of see that here. Is it double click? No. If I double click this and set this one to blue, I can go ahead and move this all I want. Oh, I guess that's a lie. It will try its best to keep it in that position. But these are, the blue points are the like main, oh, there we go. That was weird. Yeah, the blue points are the main points for trying to determine, how things move. I need to redo the weighting of this, all the fun things. Ah, yes, welcome to working in 3D. But yeah, so this is the general reason why we're using Cascadeur, is because it can go ahead and do that. All that fun stuff. So I'm actually gonna try to make a wave animation where she's just saying hi. We're gonna just back up until that gets on. Yeah. So the way that we do that is we have our keyframes down here. I can go ahead and set this keyframe here, and it will go ahead and apply all of the movement onto this frame. If I go ahead and go here and move this down, sorry, I need to press F to make a frame. You can also press this button here to make a frame. And now that there's a frame there, I can do that and it stays. If you don't have a frame set, it will just reset to whatever position it was at before, no matter what you move. So just keep that in mind. So I'm setting a frame, moving this down, and you'll be able to see if you press play, it will go ahead and adjust, right? Nice and easy. We can go ahead and take this and do an interpolation. There's a little button here that says auto interpolation. I'm just going to click that and it'll just go ahead and interpolate those in between frames for us to those different points. Very nice. Thank you, Cascadeur. Those are kind of the main things that you need to know to start with animation on this. I'm going to get rid of that keyframe and actually, let me back up all the way. Oh, goodness. I did look this up and I did see a thing that might work. I'm just gonna watch this real quick. How do we reset the pose? It's kind of important.
When you get to a messed up pose in Cascadeur, you can easily reset it, but it's not the most intuitive. You will need to switch to box controller mode, select the controllers you want to reset, and under commands you need to click.
Oh, awesome. Cool. Love YouTube. We love YouTube so much with this. Yeah, so it has to be, that is really dumb actually, that it has to be the box controller mode, but you know what? Whatever works. Take this, commands, and oh goodness. I lost it. It lied. I guess go to T-pose works. Would that work with auto posing as well? Whatever. Anyways, like I said, introductory understanding of Cascadeur. But just enough to kind of know what I want out of this. So just as an example, I'm gonna set this hand here. I'm gonna set this neck point here. I'm double clicking it. Maybe I'm double clicking it. Whatever. I'm gonna move it just a little bit so it knows. Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to do that. You can kind of see that it's setting the animation there, and I'm going to make sure on this keyframe, and I'm going to move the hand up. I know the weighting of this rig is all messed up, and I will go fix it later, but just for... oh my god. Just as an example... we're gonna... oh my god, that's terrifying. Okay, so that's where the hand is. Woo! Yay! Alright. I'm gonna select that section. We're gonna auto-interpolate. Move this, and... yeah. Cool. And we're gonna go to 10. I'm gonna press F to make a frame. We're gonna move this over. Oh god. Okay, cool. So right now I'm in the position mode, but I know that I want it to like rotate. So I'm gonna press E. You can also manually adjust this over here. At the very top, you'll see this like sort of transform arrow key. It looks like the Unity stuff. So that transform stuff, you can use the rotation and you can do scale, which I don't think really will affect anything here. But the rotation I do know will. Yeah. So I'm actually going to go ahead. Oh, God. Well, this is why rigging is important, guys. But let's just, we're going to... it's so bad. It's fine. I'm actually going to go in here and select this one and rotate it a bit. See what we can get. Yeah, now it's like kind of straight, right? Oh my god. Yeah, okay. So if we... I'm gonna actually... so I'm pressing W again. I'm gonna move this back. Move this over. You gonna move over? Nope. You're kind of stuck where you are, aren't you? That's fine. There we go. So the nice thing is that you can actually just like kind of move things around until it like generally looks like it's gonna work here. It makes sense. I'm gonna auto-interpolate this, and we're gonna try to move make a new frame. Try to move the oh goodness. Yeah, so there's a reason why this is somebody's job in AAA, because you can't just rest this stuff, because otherwise it looks exactly like this. Oh, you know, this is great. This is great. We're gonna, yeah. That's good. It's back and forth. We got our keyframes. Can I copy and paste? I know there's a way to duplicate this, but I'm also rusty, so we're gonna just gonna make a new frame. And we're gonna rotate this bone again. Oop. We're gonna use Alt. And then I'm also gonna, so I'm selecting one frame, left click, and then selecting another frame while holding shift. And you can kind of see this black box around this area, and I'm gonna press the auto interpolate, and then let's see how this goes. Yeah, see, that's not that bad, even though it looks like a little crazy when you're working on it. Nice and quick, you know, whatever. Now, you can go ahead and, so I'm selecting these keyframes and then I'm middle clicking So I do want to, let's just say, I want the actual wave itself to like be a bit longer. So I'm gonna middle click and I selected that entire thing, and then I'm gonna select this entire thing, middle click and drag. And middle click and drag over here. Sorry, there's a way to copy this. Typically, I mean, all your typical animation things apply. Like this is our root frame. I would want to copy this. Can I just make a frame, select it, paste? Yeah, let's go. Cool. I'm just gonna. I don't know why these are. Whatever. We're gonna say that that's pretty good. Here I'm gonna auto interpolate and. Yeah, I will take it. That's fine. If I really wanted to, I'll go and like adjust the rotation of this, but yeah, we'll say that that's fine. For a little tutorial, I think that's good. But you kind of get the point of it all, right? Like, Cascadeur kind of helps us like do the in between, interpolations and whatnot of the 3D model, rather than if we were in Blender. Yeah, screw it. I am gonna just open up Blender. It won't actually do the in-betweens for the different joints, which is when you're not focused on that, it kind of goes, it makes you go a little crazy. Let me, why am I, oh, I need to reset the texture. That is perfectly fine. We're gonna set that over here. Okay, real quick, let me, I don't want this selected. Or do I have to? Yeah, I have to do this. Let me, what? Oh, I put it in the textures file. Well, that'll do it. Textures folder is what I meant to say. Let's do this. Open image. There we are. There's our violet. So this violet is based off of Mars's concept art, which I am actually starting to like a bit more. She cute, ain't she? So I'm actually gonna open up the, I have a rigged version. Yeah, this one should be, I could be able to do this for, let's do this real quick. There we go. Okay, so the difference is that in here, let me make sure that I can actually view this in front. So we have all our bones. We should be able to, just ignore that. That's a Mixamo thing. Should be able to just go ahead and adjust these bones the way that you want, right? But the issue is I can't actually, right, like here I am gonna try to move the actual this hand. It's gonna freak me out. I'm just gonna do this real quick. So let's say I wanted to, like what I was doing in Cascadeur, right? I'm taking this hand, and if I just want to move it around, I can. And the entire body adjusts with it, and I can literally just move it to wherever in position, and it'll kind of try its best to make that position work. Whereas this, if let's just say I want to do a hand animation, I have to go from here, And then I can't just drag this back, you know, I have to go ahead and take this rotation and kind of move it on the X, and then we're gonna take this rotation and move it over here, and then actually, wait, no, we have to like do this and move it up, and then this one starts moving this way, and then we have to like keep doing this sort of thing, moving it over, and it's gonna look janky as shit because I don't know what I'm doing, because I don't know the proper like quaternions and stuff like that. And you know what, you can see the issue of the weight painting right here. That's a whole, you know, well, I'll go back and fix it later, but you have to, it's a simple wave, so like, you know, you could definitely do this, right? You can definitely do it and do the whole rotations and whatnot. And I know that there are other people out there that they probably have add-ons and fun stuff for Blender to make it easier to kind of do this sort of thing and make stuff animated in Blender. But personally, I have not gotten there and found Cascadeur and thought it was really nice and easy. And also, actually, the reason why I chose Cascadeur in the first place is because once it's all rigged up like this, you can actually take video and do like it without wearing the mocap suit. You can actually just have it like analyze video, and it will like map that video movement to the rig that you have, which was, I was trying to do like a skate animation. Let me see if I can. Is it in here? Yeah. Just trying to do the skate animation for a separate game. I took this from a video. I wish you could actually see the video. Is it in here? Yeah, you can see it! Sorry. You can see, you can see the video back there. Can I hide this? I don't want to see this right now. Like I said, I don't necessarily remember exactly how to do these things. But anyways, it's literally this guy skating into the background. And so it took that skate movement, obviously in the opposite direction. I flipped it the other way, and like cleaned it up a little bit, but it made it really nice to be able to just like start with that base, turn that into an animation that could be worked with the game. So that is the main reason why I'm using Cascadeur, just so you know. But yeah, so that's my really shitty introduction to Cascadeur. I will definitely, like I said, this is something that I personally want to get better at. And I will definitely, like, as I learn more, start to do more workshops on my findings and fun stuff. But for now, especially since we chose this last week to work on Violet's animations, I just want to make sure that this is an option that opens up for everyone to kind of work on. And again, you can very easily find that in the Unity project itself. It is underneath the animations folder. I did just push that to main, so feel free to download Cascadeur and open it up and try it for yourself. And there are a bunch of resources out there for you to go ahead and figure stuff out. And also, you know, good old trial and error. So go ahead and have fun. Cool. So that's going to be the end of Cascadeur for me. I believe you can just go ahead and, honestly, I'm expecting everyone to be on the free version, so you don't really need to worry about exporting. But you can go ahead, well, at least I can go ahead and export to FBX, and that just works like any normal animation inside of Unity, similar to Mixamo. Actually, on that note, before I go to VFX, I'm gonna go ahead and kind of do a quick demonstration of Mixamo. Let's do that. I feel like that's a good thing to do because we will have like humanoid characters. So, let me do that real quick. I'm gonna take. So, let's say you have your model. Ideally, everything is parented together. You should be able to just go ahead and select, and we're gonna go to. Actually, I need to open up Mixamo first so you actually know what I'm talking about. Let's do Mixamo. Here we are. You'll probably want to make. You'll probably need to make an account. But this is what Mixamo is. It has all these like pre-baked animations for us to use. That's actually these animations are exactly what I already have set up for Violet in the game. Which is really nice. Put this in place. How you go ahead and export this is I'm going to select all of this. We're going to go to export. We're going to go to FBX. And I already have all these models here, but just as an example, if you want to do this for yourself, you can create a preset. And I did one that is to Mixamo. But so notice that like the default is you select all these things, and then specifically the forward and the up are set to -Z and Y. You do want those to change. So I'm first of all, limiting this to selected objects because that's what I did. I like selected all my objects. Only the mesh, and then the forward is Y forward and the up is Z up. Make sure that you have these, otherwise it's just gonna look really fucked. And then I did, you don't want to check animation. I don't think you really need. I think everything else should be fine. So you should be able to just export this to whatever model. I already have this as an export, so I'm going to just kind of leave that. But then you're going to go over to Mixamo, and you are going to find that file. So I'm going into here, Violet. We have our V2 model, FBX. I'm going to open that up. It'll upload. All that fun stuff. And you should have your model facing forward. That's why the axes are really important to set. So make sure you do that, because otherwise sometimes you have the model facing backwards and then the animations look really scary. So... and then you're going to just kind of do this and make sure that you you set your points to the right areas. For this, I'm actually going to let's do 3 chain fingers. And then I'm going to hit next. Let's do some auto rigging. And eventually it will finish and allow you to kind of play around with the animations of the characters. Now, you don't necessarily need to have an animation on these characters. You can totally just put it in T-pose. The reason why we're using Mixamo for this, specifically only for humanoid characters, the actual rigging for monsters and stuff, we're gonna have to do that by hand, and it's just gonna have to happen that way. But for humanoid characters, we can Mixamo just does a really good job of rigging it up front. Yeah, except for the fact that this weight is messed up, and we can fix that later. In fact, I guess I'm not gonna prove that now, but you can go in Blender and adjust the weights and then export it. But anyways, if we're not focusing on animations, which in this case we're really not, I'm just gonna put it on a T-pose. We're gonna download. And do with skin is if you want the mesh, without skin is if you don't want the mesh. Typically you do want the mesh, but depends on if you already have a rigged character, and you just want the animations. If you just want the animation, then you don't need the mesh. So I'm gonna download that, and you can totally drag it back into Blender to do adjustments, or you can drag it into Cascadeur. So go to my downloads, T-pose, and drag it in. And actually, let's do... Because this is a project that I've already set up, I'm gonna make a new one. Because I don't really want to mess this one up. Be completely honest. And also, the pop-up shouldn't... Yeah. So the pop-up doesn't happen if you already have a rig in that scene. So that's something that I found out today. So dragging in this T-pose from Mixamo, God, those shoulders are scary. Cascador is already set up to be able to kind of read the bones from Mixamo, which is really nice. So we should be able to go enter rig mode. Yes, we do. This is a humanoid model. Yep, so for humanoid characters, it's best to use the quick rigging tool. Yes, and we're going to hit yes. It's going to go ahead and say character should be fully recognized. If it is not, what did I do? Honestly, if it isn't, if it's doing something weird, that's exactly why I shared the resources. I don't remember what I did earlier today because it was doing something weird, but I totally put the, yeah, here we are. If you don't see this, go watch, yeah, namespace issues. Go watch that, and it'll help you figure it out. But honestly, it should work. So I'm just gonna hit add rig elements, and then yeah, generate rig. And here we are in our T-pose with exactly, this is what we were working with earlier. I can go ahead and do this and make her go crazy. Slap a bitch. So yeah, that's generally the workflow. With non-humanoid characters, it is gonna look a lot different. And to be completely frank, I have not done a non-humanoid character in Cascador or in Blender animated before. So, many things for us to learn. I'm really excited to go into that, but that is not for today. Today we are just focusing on Violet, and honestly for this month we're just focusing on Violet. Maybe Blue, I might start working on Blue, but anyways, cool. So I'm going back out of this. I don't care about this. Okay, so now I want to talk about visual effects a little bit. So couple things with visual effects. Do I have this scene? Let's see. Resources, plugins, dark lights. We got a dark light. So in plugins, I have a dark light folder. And then I think, yeah, my plant life is here. I think. I'm just gonna go. We're gonna open this and see what's going on in here. It is. Yeah, it's messed up, but it's got the vibe. Well, but I can set some stuff up in my workshop, so I just kind of know where everything is. So there are a couple cool things that we can do with VFX. I'm going to assume that the general population already knows how to use particle effects in Unity. So I'm not going to do an in-depth conversation on particle effects. There is also a lot of documentation on it. It is also, I would like to think it's pretty straightforward. So I'm not going to go into all the options as to what you can do with particle effects. Yeah. So I'm gonna more so talk about shaders and the different ways that you can use them to manipulate meshes and literally the actual billboards in particle effects and whatnot. So that I'm gonna go more in depth in that way rather than the actual setup here. So if you're gonna, typically particle effects are spawned as prefabs. And you'll have something like this where we're gonna just do a burst. Oh, you know what? We love packages. I actually have, there's a package in here. Nope, not that either. This one. Real quick, let's see if this actually works. If you ever have a bunch of pink textures, there's a whole path to to actually convert these to the proper like things, but there's if you right click a bunch of materials, I have a dark light tools thing that goes and converts things to URP. Ah, gorgeous. Love special tools. I honestly, because I have that like menu in here, I don't really remember where to. I believe it's in like assets or something. It's like edit. Oh wait, it's edit. Ah, I take it all back. I do remember. It's edit, rendering, materials, convert selected built-in materials to URP. But I'm lazy, so I just put this here and you just do that. So, two ways to do it, just so you know. But anyways, so here's a little package that I downloaded. And this is a good example as to like what we kind of can do with VFX. I'm gonna go ahead and kind of focus on our different prefabs here. So this is one prefab. We got fireflies, and that's exactly what's kind of like floating around here. Then we have the actual fire. We got the fire pit with, I believe it doesn't just have the, oh, it's this one. This is a whole nother prefab here. And so these are just like constantly going in the scene, and then you can also just like spawn instances of prefabs in the scene, and they will actually, if I wanted to, so this right now is looping, I can turn it off of looping, and it will actually just stop looping. At least the fire part. I believe the smoke is still going because of a mission, something like that. It's either that or... Oh, I know exactly why. So, actually, this is a perfect example of, like, kind of what I wanted to talk about and focus on is layering. So, one would think, when you're looking at this, you would think, oh, this is all just one particle effect. But it's actually two. It is just the fire. So we have, I guess I can't really get rid of the fire by itself because it's the parent. But we have the fire, which is this yellow part here. That's a completely different particle effect than the smoke. So I can actually turn off the smoke. And this is our main particle effect here. And then as a child, we have the smoke. And it does a completely different effect. This one is more focused on its bursts. Even though it doesn't do that with emission. It does that. What is this? Yeah, we have our start time, and then kind of just wait. We just wait, or we do the duration. So it just like does one big burst and then repeats it like that. That makes sense. Yeah. So every like really like in-depth particle effect that you see, let's say like Genshin. Like Genshin has. Let's pull up a good example. Love Genshin particle effects. Are we gonna get to the quality of Genshin particle effects? Probably fucking not. But, you know, it's a good... Genshin is made in Unity. So... VFX. You know what? This one works too. Maybe this guy worked on... Did he work on Genshin? Because I totally typed in Genshin. Whatever. Anyways, so as an example, that right there is a it's not a panel. What the? Is it a panel? Is that what these are called? We're gonna just 3D plane. There we go. That's a plane with a texture on it, right? Literally just a plane with a texture on it, right? Some really good artist went ahead and made this is probably an SVG of this entire ring, and this ring is spawning as a plane with that texture on it, and it is getting scaled up and rotated. Then, yeah, so it gets scaled up and rotated. And then, when this arrow comes down, that's probably an actual model. It will go ahead and take this and scale it up. And then we have our little particles. So I would actually argue that this is an entire animation on its own, where they have it all rigged up as, let's say, I'm going to try to replicate this with like boxes real quick. Let's see if we can do that. We're going to do, so let's just say, actually, I want to do this in my workshop scene. So I'm going to move over to that real quick. Many different ways to handle a VFX, but this is just off the top of my head of how I would go about to like try to recreate this. So we're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna create an empty game object because that's always good to have a parent, especially for VFX. We're gonna say VFX example, and then underneath this, I'm gonna go ahead and we're going to make my plane. Here we are. Very good. I'm going to make my, whatever, the thing that comes down. I'm going to just throw this up at, let's do this at 10. And then, we're just going to focus on that for right now. So, we're going to do, I do this as, yeah, we should be able to, we're going to create an animation clip. I'm going to do this underneath I'm going to make a new folder for VFX and animation. Cool. I'm gonna start from here, and let's say this is actually gonna be. I'm gonna start from 0. I'm gonna record. Actually, wait. No, I'm gonna. This will add a keyframe, right? Or no? Let's do. There we go. Nice. So this is gonna go down to 0. This I want this keyframe to be 1. Okay. So notice I put this well, it's kind of funny that let me make sure that I get this set up because I want this to actually be able to effects sample this here. There's yeah, we're gonna say it plays automatically, and honestly, I'm gonna hit play and make sure that it does that. Yeah, we're gonna say that it did. It like bugged out a little bit because it started at the very beginning. Can I automate? It's fine. It's fine. It's gonna give me a thing. No. But yeah, so with this animation, I can go ahead and say, we got this, we got this. Yeah, it's just really, really quick. So I should be able to, let me bring this out to 60. There we go. Nice and small. So, right, you can kind of see what's going on here. I can take this. I want to make sure. We're just going to play and make sure that it is animating. Yeah! Right, there we go. So, that's my plane. It's my cube. And then I would say we would have our... Actually, I'm going to cheat, and we're going to do Firefly, because I know that exists. Firefly is this one here. Yeah. And I should be able to... Let's see, can I... Yeah, so I'm going to add property, and we're going to do is active. That's a good one. So I'm actually going to set is active to false. And then when the plane goes up here, I'm going to add a key. And then I'm going to turn Fireflies on. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, that should do it. Now, let me make sure Fireflies plays on awake. So, let's see. Might need to do something else. It seems like it's not. Nope, perfect. Awesome, actually. Exactly what I'm looking for. So, this full animation, actually, I'm gonna... Let's go ahead and... Yeah, thank you. Right, it's like not as cool as this, very obviously. But, it's getting the start, right? All these different... You can kind of see how all of these different things can get sequenced to get these specific animations. Like the fade in. I'm actually going to go really slow. This is kind of going fast for me to talk about this. Oh, wait, I have my special... Oh, I'm gonna turn this off. Jesus Christ. So yeah, we got that coming in. We got this model happening. Also, to point out, this is probably also a texture. This is also a plane that exists for when it drops down. So, the timing of that, we have our big... That's probably 2 particle effects of particle systems. You got this one with the actual diamonds, and then we have the this little section here, a whole another 2 different textures, and then this one right here. This does its little glow sequence. It also, to point out as well, it has its little shine. You can see the shine right here going across, right? And we got another thing in a huge burst, and that's probably like 3 or 4 other particle systems got that. So that effect is definitely a shader, where you had the model actually like kind of have a pulse to it. Definitely a shader. Then that's another texture with a shader on it because it's glowing and all that fun stuff. And yeah. I want to see what it looks like when it finishes. Yeah, and it disappears and does another particle effect. That texture goes ahead and fades away. And yeah, so that there's a reason why it's this guy's like portfolio right here. This is his job. There's a lot that goes into just one particle effect. And I'm gonna let this play normally and kind of look at the rest of these here. You can kind of just like imagine and think of like the complexity of these. I do want to just point out that this is another set of shaders to get that light effect going. And the flower, oh yeah, that looks so good actually. Again, very high quality animation. Somebody gets paid stupid amounts of money to make these. But again, it literally says Unity in the title here. This can all be done in Unity, as using these systems that we're working with. I've always wanted to figure out how to do Tornado. It's really interesting to me. That's cool. Whoa, that's actually really cool. What? I think I might be able to do that one. The pixel art one, just because I know I have a shader for it already. Okay.
So, did I miss the Cascadeur workshop, or has that not started yet?
You did.
Okay, that's fine.
But I did record it.
It seems like it was like less than an hour. It should be pretty quick.
Yeah, it's really quick. It's my shitty introduction. It's the very basics. It's just, more of an explanation as to why we're using it. Rather than it's self-admittedly it's not too great. It kind of looks bad, but you know what? It's a good introduction, and I'm excited to work together on it and learn more about it myself. But yeah, here actually I can pull that up real quick and show you what the end result was. Just real quick, since I got it here. And then I'm going to go back into VFX. And I'm honestly going to just spend the rest of this hour just trying to make the best, packaged VFX prefab that I can. With those as an example of, what I just went through. But, yeah. So here's the little animation that I just made. The weighting is so messed up on this shoulder. I didn't even realize that until I started animating. I was like, oh god. But that can be fixed in Blender. But the main thing that I was showing off was the fact that you can do this in Cascadeur. Where you can actually move poses around and get the character to kind of look at her bouncing, That's the main reason why I want to use Cascadeur, is because it makes 3D animation so much easier to work with, because they do all this machine learning on the end already, on their end already. So yeah, very nice. So okay, cool. I'm gonna go away. Okay, cool. Alright. So yeah, I'm gonna go through and I was gonna try and recreate that first one, but I think I honestly saw one that intrigues me a bit more, and also allows me to kind of show off some shaders that I have already made, and we can talk about shader graphs and stuff. So we're gonna say, we can leave these. I want to pull out, in my plugins, I have my shaders here, and there's this one that's called Pixel. Do this. And actually, I'm going to be good to practice doing the actual textures for these. So I'm gonna pull out Clip Studio Paint because I'm being brave. I'm using a new software to do things. I still haven't figured out if I like Clip Studio Paint or not. We're still working on it. Yeah. So what I want to do, where's that pixel one? It's this one. Okay. So I'm not gonna worry about the throwing in, because that's a completely that's a velocity. I can do that separately from the actual visual effects. It's this sort of pixel art, pixelized effect that is really intriguing to me. Now this one is kind of faded on the edges, so I might get to it in a second, but again, also this here. So I'm going to try to do a good combination of shader work and textures to kind of create a pixelized explosion. Straight up because I think it's cool, not because I think it's actually going to fit in the game. Which should be, honestly, everybody's intention right now. I want you to see things that you think are cool and try to make them. Don't worry about making it fit in the game. Just have fun. Enjoy what you do. Enjoy your skills. So yeah. I know that I'm already gonna pixelize it, so I'm gonna just do a good 5x12. Resolution is fine. We're gonna, my file name is, we're gonna do pixel burst texture 1. And I'm actually gonna save this as my, like, 512 square. Yep, the resolution and yep, all that fun stuff. Okay, cool. And then, oh yeah, you guys are really gonna. This is gonna be a recorded instance of how I like cheat, basically. It just, a lot of game design to me is you do it best if you learn hacks and learn how to use your computer well to like cheat things. So I like this orange, and I don't want to. I'm not Mars, okay? I don't have the best like understanding of color palettes. So you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna steal it. And I don't think Clip Studio Paint is going to let me do that. So, very long ago, I downloaded this thing called, what was it, like Power Toys, for my computer, and it allows me to have a color picker, and I can just do this. Thank you very much. Oh, look at that.
What I would do is just like use the snipping tool and copy paste it into Photoshop.
You know what? You could totally do that too, but I
Your way works.
Yeah.
I will not say it does not. That would be factually incorrect.
I love a good color picker. It's so great. Let's see. Oh my god. Oh, okay. I was gonna say, where the hell is my hex color? I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna do this, and there we go. Okay. So. And then I can kind of adjust from there, but for right now, we're going to say that that's pretty good. Yeah, so, let's see. Make a circle. I'm going to try to make it center. Can I adjust the thickness? Yes. We do. Oh god. That's a bit too thick. Okay. Let's do. Yeah. You know what? That's not enough. We're gonna go 100. Yeah. Okay. Like this. Oh god damn it, I did it on the same layer. It's fine.
Whoopsie.
It's fine. It's fine. It's so fine. Okay. Cool. Oh, you know what? I'm lying. This isn't even the best way to do it. I don't even need the color. I mean, I'll get it later, but really, this should be white. And I'll show you why. I should. It's fine. It's fine. I'm so good at this. So good. So we're gonna take this, and I wanna move it in the middle. Okay, and then save that. And then I'm going to we're gonna do assets. Do I have a textures? Yeah, we're gonna do VFX. I'm specifically going to make a VFX folder. We're gonna do general VFX, and I'm going to save this as a circle. We're gonna save it as a PNG, specifically because PNGs have the alpha, the transparency behind it, and we're going to do VFX.
Your circle got cut off a little bit.
Did it? Well,
Yeah, like the edges crossed.
we're gonna do hollow circle. That's fine. We'll save that there. What the fuck? Why did you do that? It's fine. No, die. It's messed up. I don't know why it did that. I'm gonna try to move it to the edges and get like a full. Is that fine? That should be fine. That's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Okay, and we're gonna try that again. We're gonna save it. And we're gonna save it here and overwrite it. My circle is glorious and I love it. And we're going to. So now I specifically saved it as a texture in the Unity project, right? I could go looking for it right now, but I know that it's there. So we're just going to, we're going to do create folder. Hello, create folder, general VFX. And then I'm going to say, I'm going to create my material. And this is going to be pixel hollow. It's good to have like a tag at the front so you know, like if you're looking for VFX materials, you'll just type in VFX and you get them all. So I'm going to type in VFX. We're going to do pixel hollow circle. And then I'm going to drag this onto my plane here. Now, that is completely white. Well, I'll get back to that in a second. I know that my base map, I'm selecting this little circle there and looking for the texture. And yes, we got a lot of textures going on here, but because I did my due diligence, I type in VFX and I get my VFX hollow circle. Very nice. And it didn't pop up. I'm gonna go find that. So I'm gonna click on the square and it's actually gonna find it in the project for me. And let's see what happened here. Let's see. Why are you being weird? I'm gonna actually just double click it and open it up as an image and see what's going on. This is what my image looks like. Do we have alpha as transparency? Ah, see? Aha. Very important. Alpha is transparency. I'm going to set that there. Now I know that that is actually a circle. It's really good. Really good to have. But my material didn't update. So let's go ahead and look at that. What's going on? We have alpha clipping on? No, we don't. So turned on alpha clipping. Now I got my circle. Nice. Also, what is really cool, you can kind of, have the shadow as well. Love my big fat juicy circle. The cool thing is I can actually, I'm just going to duplicate this, and I'm going to say, this second one that I made, I'm just going to do hollow circle, just so that we have multiple materials. I just want to point out that we can add shaders to things, but it's not going to affect the Jesus Christ. What the... Why are you doing that? Oh, because that one's being animated. Okay, that's fine. We're gonna bring this to 0.5. 0.5. 0.5. 0.5. There we go. So that's I'm gonna apply this, and you're not gonna see it change, but you will see it in a second. So, okay, so now's where we get into shaders. So, I in my youth, which was literally like a year or two ago, created a bunch of shaders because shaders are cool. I believe, yeah, that's not it. I need to, that's a completely different thing. I made a bunch of shaders, and they're sitting in shader graph. I personally know the names of the ones that I have, but if you really want to go look at the ones that already exist, and or want to make tweaks to them, I don't really care if you want to make tweaks to them. Just, GitHub exists. Make sure you do some actual like saving and whatnot. But if you go to plugins, go to Darklight, and then shaders, you'll be able to see all of these different ones that we have. I'm going ahead and using Pixel right now. So I'm going to go up here, and you can go to shader graphs and then go look for Pixel, or you can just type it up at the top. So yeah, I'm going to choose Pixel, and then we're going to do, actually, VFX. So the reason why it disappeared, well, the reason why it disappeared is because the texture needed to be set. I'm going to set this to a different texture to just kind of prove that it actually goes ahead and renders it. Let's see, what else do I got? Sorry, I don't know why it's popping up over there. We got some weird textures in here. We're just gonna put it back on. Yeah, there we go. I have this texture in here as like a example, but you can kind of see that this shader goes ahead and adjusts the resolution of the texture that you give it. Which is why I was like, oh my goodness, I've already done that. You can actually go ahead and see how this works. If you go up to exactly where this drop down is, but then to the right, you click edit, and it will pop up the shader graph. And funny enough, it is actually really simple, which is kind of cool. Now, realize that this doesn't actually affect the alpha, is kind of important because I was using a hollow circle. So we're going to, I don't know why it keeps moving over here. VFX, hollow circle, that's what I want. You can see that's a full white thing. That's not necessarily what I want. So take this and let's see what's going on here. That's why I'm going to set that to I want to see the scene, but also, yeah, we'll put this here. See the scene. So I'm going to set it to transparent because it wasn't already, and then I'm going to, I need to actually, there we go. I'm going to save it. Okay, good to know. Main issue right here is that the alpha isn't actually going into the alpha channel. Save that. There we go. That's my circle. That's what I'm talking about. Very cool. So, nice. Yeah. Can I take this sample and slider. That's what I wanted. Let's save it. Here we go. Oh, boo. Come on. Do 101. Save. Okay, 1. There we go. That's my slider. So yeah, we're gonna put it on 32. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, cool. So now I very easily could go ahead and try to so right, and like there, when I first made this texture, I was choosing like a specific color, and I could go in and do this, you know, and color it what I want, and in the actual, like, you can kind of see that with this, well, first of all, it's changing hues, and then the burst, actually, like, you know, we have that inner, and then we have the outer, and that's all cool, right? I could go ahead and be like, okay, I need a blue one, and then I'm gonna make a blue one, and I'm gonna make a rose one and a pink one, and it's gonna, you know, I'm gonna mash them all together. Or you can use the magic of shaders. So notice that I'm only focusing on the look with the shader. I'm not focusing on the actual, like, whether this is scaling up or not. That is focused on the animation, although you can do that with a shader. But so because I know that I'm gonna probably want to do this differently later, I'm going to do this project justice and also make a shaders folder, even though I know that I already have one. So we're going to use that one instead. Shaders. We're going to we're gonna go to shader graph. Do it URP because that's what we're using, and we're going to do a lit shader graph. Let's do that. And we're going to do pixel. What do I want to call this? Pixel color grade. Yeah. We're gonna do fancy pixel. We're gonna do that, and we can change the name of it later. So a couple things. You could totally take this pixel graph and copy it and move it over to whatever is new. I'm gonna open this up. I could totally do that. I'm actually gonna go ahead and I'm gonna make this. I can convert it to subgraph. Do I already have a subgraph of this? I'm gonna check just in case. Shaders, subgraphs. No, I don't. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna create it, convert it to a subgraph. I'm gonna go save this specifically in the dark light one because that's just where the actual main shader comes from, but I think it's good to, I will also make a subgraph folder for this project as well, but let's do this. We're gonna do pixel late texture. I'm gonna save it. And that means that, so we got our pixel, we got the pixel texture. So it takes the two parameters that we need and puts it in and outputs. It does all of that work inside of this internal subgraph, which we already saw. So nice and easy. I'm gonna keep that. We're gonna close this, close that. And the reason why I wanted that is so that I can go ahead, I can create a node, and then I can do pixelate texture, and there we go. Nice and easy. So I don't actually have to copy and paste things, and I know that it's already set up, and if I needed to make adjustments later, I can go ahead and adjust them and know that it'll affect every single shader that is using that. So I'm actually going to go ahead. We put a default texture on this, which is that hollow circle, and then I'm going to go over to my, so just because I made this shader does not mean that the material that I was using before is using that shader, so you do have to go ahead and find that. So I'm going to go to shader, and then I had it named Fancy Pixel, so I adjusted the shader that is being used on that material to be this new shader graph that I'm working on. And then, so I'm going to just reconnect everything. Actually, in this case, I'm I need to split this. Yeah, this is exactly why I wanted to make this a subgraph. I'm gonna do out vector 2. Name this. This is gonna be RGB. And then actually that would, well, no, let's just do that. We're gonna do float. This is going to be alpha. And then this is going to be, oh wait, no, this is alpha already. Let's do that. Cool. Save that. Put that there. So if I go back to fancy, yep. So we want this. So that. This is going to be transparent. Oh god, guys, I love game design. It's so cool to be able to just like impose your will on a digital world. It's the coolest thing ever.
Something Deltarune, something.
Pixel amount. Pixelation amount. I'm gonna put this as a default value of 16. Drag this in, put that there. I'm gonna save it. We should be back where we were. Let's see. Nope, not necessarily. Let's see. Oh, alpha clipping needs to be on. And I don't think the threshold is enough. That needs to be up. Something Deltarune. I love that. Alpha is here. Alpha clip threshold is 1. What's the
Clearly only the most witty commentary.
Here, workflow. This is unlit, this is lit. Is it because of that? Maybe I made this too cool. Let's just do unlit and save it like that. Nope. Do I actually? Oh, I don't have a texture on this. Ah, boo. That's kind of important. Okay, so the actual material itself didn't have a texture, which was kind of annoying, but it got figured out. Pixelation amount. I'm gonna put this back on a slider because I think that's a lot better. I'm gonna do proper values and do 4 and 28. Cool. Okay, so now we're back in the same, and I wanted to make sure that I had a separate shader because I do want to do some manipulations on this. I actually want to do a nice color grade. So I could go ahead and play around with this for a while because I generally know how to do this, but I'm going to go cheat and look at some other shaders that I've worked on just because it's always good to get a reminder, and also, I already did it, might as well just use it again. This is more focused on the mesh, so I'm not going to worry about that. Let's see, do I have... You know what? These are all mesh shaders. No, you know what? No, I can do a grade. I'm gonna discard that. We're gonna close this. Don't need this. We're gonna do a color grade here. So let's do it would be color, be ramp. What would it be? It's different in color. It's totally ramp. Gradient. Okay. Well, all right. I'm gonna take this, do a nice multiply. Nope. Multiply. Dude, Gradient. Interesting. Okay, sample gradient. It is totally. This is why you can't take shaders from Blender and move it over to Unity, because they do it differently, and it's kind of annoying. Multiply this by. So I want. Set this gradient. Oh, I can totally set the gradient. Well, we'll do it. We'll do it manually. I'm gonna. Hello. Did I just lose my? There we go. Keeps moving my gradient to a different color. I'm gonna just put it on this one because I already have it. I'm gonna multiply this by the texture. Nope. You take the texture and we want the color from it. Can we split it? Yeah. I'll take this. Split it. And multiply it here, and then oh, I can't put it in there. Actually, so we're gonna take this texture. Let's do that. We're gonna start here. Multiply this by the RGB here, and then output the RGB to the base color and save it. Yeah, woo! Okay, cool. Start with that. Now we can start playing with colors a little bit. I'm gonna move this over. And save that and see what happens. So I think it's all technically counts as the one value, which is interesting. Can we? Oh wait, no, it's because it's all on. It's by time here. Let's do 0.5, and then it should change color. Yep. Okay. So it's technically, if you're thinking about this linearly by time, you start at 0, you end at 1, 0.5 is in the middle here. So I should be able to take this, change the color to something like stupid, like yellow, and save that, and then it'll change to yellow. Woo! Awesome. I know what I'm doing. Crazy. So the main thing that I want is a gradient, and because I need to focus on getting this to be, we have a specific, it's like Fresnel, right? Again, whole nother job that, yeah! Sorry, I just really like doing it. This is, oh my god, this is exact, I love doing this so much. This is like somebody else's whole ass job to do this. So I definitely don't expect anybody to just like have this stuff in their mind, but god damn is it cool when you kind of remember this thing. Now the thing, this is gonna piss me off a little bit. Let's see, what? I'm gonna do myself a favor, and I'm going to use a white texture, just like a basic white texture, so that I can see the way that the color is getting mapped onto. Jesus Christ, nothing mapped onto this. There we go. Okay. Cool. Good to know. And I don't know why my preview isn't working. Maybe because it's flat. Okay. Well, I'm gonna make this actually look kind of pretty. Let's do that. This is going to be. Let's make it a nice. Let's make a nice pink. And we can get rid of this. Put this over here. Actually have a nice gradient going on. Okay, and that's a good, yeah. Sample gradient for time. I don't know if the Fresnel actually is a good idea for this right now. Because I could take this and multiply it here. Yeah, it just multiplies it by that. Can I do 0.25? It's like the center of it is weird. I know I swore I did this. Where I like offset the actual middle of a thing. Let's see. Oh god. UV edges? You know what? That's a good. I'm gonna take this. That's mine now. Thank you. Take this and honestly, let's just say we're gonna do a good test. I'm gonna take this RGB. No. I'm gonna take this RGB, multiply by this, and let's see what I get. Okay, what does that look like with the actual circle? Yeah, like that, and then I'm gonna go back and set this to VFX, hello circle. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, that's actually really what I want. So this is I'm just focusing on color. There are some other aspects of that VFX that like the fact that the pixels, some of the pixels are missing and whatnot. That's a whole nother thing. But just to like kind of drive the point across. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna take my this, screw the Fresnel. We're definitely focusing on just the UV. I think that's kind of, yeah, that's probably why. Let's do the UVs. Are more important. I can do this. Is there a view node in this? Display. Oh, yeah, I'm spoiled with Blender. Blender geometry nodes. So I can take this. Actually, I can do this with multiply. Yeah. Okay. And we're gonna do that there. Multiply. Save that. Ah. Yeah. Okay. I think that might even be too harsh, but let's see. It is a bit harsh. Break this down a little bit. Because I could. What is just like a normal multiply? Oh, because I can't multiply a fucking gradient. That's kind of why. Yeah. Yeah, it literally has to be a sample. And then if I do a sample. Hello? Yes, sample. Yeah, that's really annoying, actually. Oh, I can min-max this. 0, 1. Nope, that's not how that works. I can make a range of this. We're gonna do. Actually, wait, we had -10 and 10. That's what this was, and then I can It's not range. It's not ramp. It's a clamp. Yeah, or it would be actually. You know what? I think it's remap. Let's see. And no, it's clamp. That's what it is. Clamp. And the min is that, and the max is that, and that should. Nope. Did I already clamp it? Is that kind of why? Whatever. We'll figure it out later. Yeah, I mean that's fine for now. Maybe it's because I'm doing let me make this actually like even. 100, this should be 0. Oh. Should be 0. This is 50. Okay. Let's leave it like that. Oh, yeah, okay. That works a lot better, actually. So do that. Save that. Okay. Cool. And I'm gonna do my duty and make a good, like, color grade amount. Put that in here. And then this should be a slider from from 0 to 10. Actually that should be power. And then technically we also want a gradient. Can I copy this? Can I make this a preset? Can I make it a preset? How do I make it a preset? Oh, new. Yay! Cool. Yay! Awesome. Love presets. That there. Do that there. Save it. And then I should. Yeah! Woo! Look at that! Hell yeah! Okay, cool. So that's like one example of like I can actually go ahead and is my is gradient not an option in here? Okay, well that's a whole nother thing. I'll change that later. I don't know. Oh wait, yeah, show in expector. Single, show, half, show. Whatever. I'll figure that out later so we can actually adjust it. You can actually set colors in here to make things, whatever, in the actual textures. So like let's say if I didn't want this to be pink, orange, and yellow, you can do a blue, green, and purple. And set that for the shader of a specific material, and then we can reuse it, and it's still like pixelated in this effect. So just perfect example. Also, again, our texture still looks exactly the same, but we're using the shader to actually manipulate this, and our animation is still working, right? So I think that's pretty cool. I think also, let's see, my plane, this would just be plane 1. Can we do... want to see if you can actually affect the shader itself. I don't know. I don't think you can. Oh. Can you? Pixelation amount? This is at, I'm gonna say that this is 64. Oh, guys, you can affect the shader in the middle of this as well. Just so you know. We get to the middle, and then we start affecting the shader, giving it a bit more of a... Oh, guys, yeah, we love VFX in this house. So, okay, so there's that, right? So I have that pixelation. I am gonna leave it at 32 because I think that's fine for now. Or whatever the hell it's at. We got that. We got the little thing that spawns. And I'm actually gonna, so I'm gonna put this at the end here. And I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna edit this, and I'm gonna add a glow. So pretty, you know what, let's see. Do I have a glow? Yeah, glow emission. Well, let's wait a second. I have this glow graph here. By the way, I have all of these graphs pre-made to use. They did not just spawn from my brain. I did not just make all this shit up. Honestly, most of this is just a YouTube video. Flat out. It's just a YouTube video. And then I followed it and was like, oh my goodness, that's so cool. And then I saved it and used it later and modified it if I wanted it to. So it looks like, yeah, my glow is just an emission, so I'm not even going to worry about, like, even copying that, because I can just, or should be just be able to, yeah, we're going back to lit. We be lit. Is it gonna work? Please work. Okay, good. Thank God. I don't care about smoothness, and my emission is here. So this is what I mean by color. Actually, why? Pisses me off. Do emission here. My color is going to be just white for now. And actually, I need it to be, this needs to be HDR, so I can actually do the intensity amount. So I'm gonna leave that there. That's gonna be my default amount and save it. Just so that you can see that I can actually change. Default amount is already too much. Cool, good to know. You can actually go in and affect this on your own, and there's our glow, right? I'm changing the intensity of this. I also, you know, I want it to be a bit more orange to fit the actual gradient here. Let's bring the emission up. Can I bring the alpha down? Nope. I'm gonna bring the emission down. I think that's good. That's fine. Yeah. Yeah, that's being emissive. That's pretty good. You still have the blend there. All that fun stuff. Very cool, very slay. So yeah, I think, honestly, if I was to go back to this video, yeah, right, like, we can still, you know, you can see all the, like, extra, all of these, like, things are pixelated with textures as well. Actually, perfect, I can totally, let's do, we're gonna do, where is it? Effects, particle system. I'm gonna make this particle system. I'm gonna try to do a burst. Let's do that real quick before the end of this. And we have our duration is gonna be 1. I specifically am going to use 3D. We're going to do a mesh, and it's going to be a cube. The cube is going to have this, so that cube is going to actually have the material that I just put on the circle thing. VFX, pixel, yeah. And straight up, what does that look like? Okay, yeah, so still has the shader, but also it has the same texture. So I still want to use this material here. Like, I want to use the shader again, but I don't want to use the same material. So I'm going to say, so we have our hollow circle, pixel hollow circle, and I'm going to duplicate this. We're going to have the, we're going to rename this to pixel square. And I'm just going to reset this to, honestly, just straight up this, like, default particle system thing. Is that gonna work? Might have to actually, well, we'll see. We'll see what happens. This one here, play. Yeah, that default one, it doesn't actually do its job. So once you have a material set both in the mesh render and the particle system, you can actually go ahead, go down and do this drop down and affect it however you want, which is, again, why shaders are really, really good to have. I'm just going to use the default checker one right now. I might actually go through and make a bunch of shapes and put them in the game. I did that for light and the dark, and then I just didn't. I decided to just not do it again. Or just haven't done it again for a while. But yeah, there we go. That's what I'm talking about. We're going to adjust the color grade power a little bit. And I'm going to say the pixelation amount should be a bit more, or a bit less technically. And honestly, I can't really see that. Can't really see it. Well, good to know. Let's see, render alignment is view, cast shadows, all that fun stuff. Is it because of this emissive? No, it's really just like, it's just not affecting it. It's like in there, you can kind of see it, but it's like not actually doing enough. Straight up, let's put that moon jellyfish. Yeah, we love. I straight up put that moon jellyfish texture back in, and it did. Oh, that's so funny. It's actually kind of what I was looking for with the alpha in there. That's so funny. I'm gonna leave it. It's gonna be, yeah.
Oh, funny.
That's so funny. Yeah. Yeah.
You were saying so funny. I thought you were saying it's funny.
It's funny.
Like the brain rot hit.
Oh goodness. It's funny.
Turns out I was the one whose brain had been robbed.
Oh my god. I think this actually does use a billboard. Yeah, and that would look like this because it is looking at the view. If I could, can we get just normal circle? Unity gods, give me just a normal circle sprite. It's in here. There's gotta be one. This one. Yeah. It's a bit messed up, but it's got the spirit.
Like a.
It's a little weird, but it's got the spirit. I like that.
I
Like,
noticed the shading is really smooth on the big circle. Is that supposed to be the case?
not necessarily. No, but it definitely could be. There definitely could be some more work with it to make it like integrate with the pixels a bit better. But just for like example purposes, I think it's fine.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that looks good, and then we're gonna do some messing around with this. Let's give it some gravity. Gravity source, 3D physics, gravity modifier 5. Woo! Yeah. I love this. Can I get start?
Classic random falling particle.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm gonna do this. We're gonna do collision is on. Collision is world. There we go. That's what I want. It's actually colliding. It's also totally falling through. So we're gonna do this. I want to burst at the very beginning of the loop. Turn down the lifetime. let's do lifetime of this, and then we're gonna do size over lifetime is the opposite. We're gonna do, I want this to be go down that way. Yeah. But we can do it like this. Yes. Then, and this honestly is just a bunch of playing around with it. I've just been doing this for a while, so I just like kind of know exactly what to look for. That's literally just what happens when you do this for a decade. We're gonna do, yeah, it is a hemisphere. I'm gonna stop it looping and let's just play. I don't know if I like that. We want this to start speed 20. That's gonna be way too fast. Okay. 5. Might be too many particles to play. Oh, the hemisphere is turned weird. That's probably why. Duh. Let's do, yeah, okay, we're doing -90. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. I'm actually gonna adjust this to be a cone because I do want it to go up more and then come down. That's cool. I'm gonna turn the gravity a bit down because I do want it to float through the air a bit more. I don't know why it's, oh yeah, so we're gonna do literally, I'm just gonna put this on 0.25. Is that not gonna, for lifetime is 2. Yeah, that's fine. That's good. Yeah, we can mess with that. Cool. Alright, I'm gonna pull it all together and that'll be it. That'll be it for now. We can definitely do more. Right? But I just kind of wanted to show off how we can go ahead and manipulate these sorts of things. So I'm going to say around 15 is where I want this to have it there. We're going to add a key. I want my, that is not what I wanted. I want this to be not active, and then this is active here. So boom, it'll spawn and everything will ideally do play on awake. Yes, that is important. It should be off here. Then it should be on. Okay. So yeah. It's not playing in the editor, but I think it will when I actually go ahead and play. So let's see. Yeah. I love when Unity just... There we go. Yeah, you can kind of see it. I don't really like how big the particles are, but, you know, there's the start of our effect.
The resolution of the particle effect shouldn't change relative to the world. Like, this is just me being really, like, detailed, man. It feels like the pixels should stay the same size. You get my drift?
I mean, yes, this is exactly where we could start having these sorts of, like, just deliberations on what would look good and whatnot.
This is me, the same person who pointed out the smooth shading, and you're like, yeah, this is just for demonstration.
Yeah, it is just for demonstration. Oh, that's why it looked weird, because the cube was above it. But yeah, like, so that I think that's a good general demonstration of how we can use a combination of the particle systems, the animations, and shaders to get to like some cool effects, some really cool effects.
Sorry, I'm putting words in your mouth.
Yeah, no worries. We can definitely play around a lot more with shaders than you might think. It does mean that we don't need to necessarily worry about colors for textures. We can go ahead and manipulate them through shaders. To be completely honest, I'm not that even happy with the way that this turned out. I know I could do better than this, but I think this is a good example of like the combination of those three. I definitely am like sitting here thinking like, oh, okay, well I could also like manipulate the this like fancy pixel shader so that I can choose randomly based off of a noise to turn on and off specific pixels, so I can have that sense of randomness and the alpha in there, and then also like separate the pixels out from each other so that there's a little like it's not just all blended in, and all the fun stuff. You can really start like kind of going crazy and going really intricate like this guy, but I'm actually really excited that this is an interest of the group to kind of get started with and look into more. I do think that the more that we get into this sort of thing and start understanding generally how we can all help each other to make cooler and cooler effects, it will definitely help out the look of the game a lot more than you may think in the end. It is a really important part of video games to have some nice visual candy, So, yeah, I think that is going to be the end of my little workshop today. Thank you all for coming and watching through if you did. And I hope this, I know that I think I helped a bit more with the VFX than the animation. And of course, like I said before, I myself am very much a beginner in the 3D animation department. But I hope that all of this kind of gives us all a nice inspiration for what we can do going forward. And kind of a nice display of things that are already in the project that you can start messing with and trying out for yourself. So, again, thank you all for coming, and I will see y'all later. Bye!